Early on in production of Sister Wives, Kody was asked what he would do if a wife ever wanted to leave, and he implied that he would financially take care of her.
If any one of them chose to leave, I would just work double time and do all I could. Can you move in the house next to us? And I'll pay you more. I'll buy the house. I'll do whatever.
But what actually happened when all of Kody's wives started to leave one by one is that Kody took the financial upper hand, raking in millions for him and his favorite wife, Robyn, hoarding the TLC family paychecks. Now he's decided that wasn't enough, and he wants to steal more of his ex-wife's money by doing what is actually, unfortunately for them, quite legal.
I don't want to discuss it.
You paid equally. You paid equally.
Today, we're watching the cast lob bombs back and forth over the breakdown of the family finances. We are going to talk about all of the highlights from episode 18, some of which had my cheeks clenching, and others had my butt cheeks flapping. Because who could not expel a little laughing fart gas when Kody spilled his guts to the poor realtor who probably didn't think he was going to be a huge big character in the episode. Also, Jen and Meri clap back at Kody calling them
She's gonna have to ditch those.
Hey, Kody, you.
Meanwhile, I think most people would agree, the biggest in the room is the man who is so desperately greedy that he chooses to take his own wife's hard-earned money and spend it on himself. Now that's a Kody's now trying to screw Meri and Janelle out of Coyote Pass.
I put a lot into this marriage, financially, personally. I didn't get anything out of it as far as like alimony. I think it's fair for the property investment. I think it's fair that I walk away with that.
Even though Meri and Janelle helped pay for Coyote Pass, the 14-acre plot of land Janelle, Meri, Kody, and Robyn all co-own, Kody has decided that he alone shall be in charge of the property.
There's no communication. We're completely in the dark.
When you ask questions to be just told, I'll let you know when this involves you.
We revisit earlier in the season when Meri was living in La La Land after Janelle warned her Kody could screw her over on Coyote Pass, and Meri was like, "Oh, not my sweet Kody. Not him. He could never. No. He's an angel. Not the man who dumped 13 kids and 3 wives to be with his favorite. No, not that Kody."
She was probably very frustrated with me.
She was? I almost had a coronary in my freaking living room.
I got these 2 exes going, what are we doing? What are we doing? So they're nagging me. Great. I just got 2 ex-wives who were total nags. Now nagging still.
Oh my God! They're not nagging you. They're just not willing to bend over and let you steal their money.
I feel like I gave a date of like a week and a half just to start the conversation. He responded saying, well, I've been talking to all the right people.
Yeah, I've been talking to, the prairie dogs, getting their perspective. I talked to my acting coach about my motivation. Been talking to the guy at Sprint. Told him I wanted to roll together my cable and internet.
I was really, really nice in that email. I was trying to calm everybody down.
This is the part where you show us the email, Puddle Monkey! Receipts proof timeline is the cherry on top of modern reality television. Where's my cherry, TLC? I want my cherry. If you're talking about something that can be screenshot and you can easily blur out the personal details, show me the screenshot. Show me the screenshot.
Like, listen, these are ex-wives asking me to do a favor.
It's not doing them a favor to communicate with them about land they legally own. They paid for the land, and yes, their dumbasses let you put your and Robyn's name all over everything, but they still have their names on some of the lots. So you're not doing them a favor, you just think the audience is really dumb.
I'm tired, and I have a lot to do.
He's so tired because him and Robyn are constantly buying mansions and other that they have to find storage space for. He's got millions of dollars he's spending on himself and Robyn, and spending money makes people tired. Ask Kathy Hilton. It's why she sleeps until noon every day.
His whole big thing was I would get 2 acres.
No.
2 acres.
Jen's like, nope. No.
He's like, well, you don't need as much because you don't have as many kids. I don't know if they don't remember when our funds were all together. Those family funds that I helped with.
And that money paid out for the majority of the kids' colleges, but not Leon's. You paid into the family account for the kids' cars, but not your kid.
This is a huge bombshell. We knew he was robbing Meri. We didn't know he was like robbing Meri.
Kody has actually said this. Because I only have one child, I am not entitled to an equal portion of the property.
Wow. He's trying to swindle her. Jen says it. Meri paid in. They all paid in. And he's trying to see how much money will this person let me take from them. They cut to Kody, and even he knows this is bad. This looks really bad.
We had 18 kids to take care of.
If it's just about progeny, shouldn't Janelle and Christine get the most amount of land? Because they had the most amount of kids? He's lying. The kids are grown up. He picked Robin. He's told the audience over and over and over again, I choose Robin. Oh, but now he's going to conveniently use them as a reason to steal Meri's money. Father of the Year, this man. Give this guy an award. Wow. Doesn't give a shit about anyone but Robin's kids, unless he can use them as an excuse to steal Meri's money. Then it's, my 18 kids, my 18 kids. Kody doesn't know what to say about Meri paying into the family fund, but not getting anything paid for.
You know, that's just water in the bridge. I don't even want to discuss it.
He can't think of anything. Can't think of a thing to say. He can't even make up any words in his head. It's just, can we please not talk about this?
She still got her wet bar.
How dare you? Who cares if it costs a little extra money? She made it back by it being a huge iconic plotline on the show. All Kody's iconic plotlines involve him being a piece of father and husband. And all that cost was literally 3 of his marriages and a relationship with half his kids. The editors actually flash back to the wet bar reveal. I'm gonna be honest, even after all these years, not totally positive what a wet bar is. Is it the island? If the island has a sink, that's a wet bar?
I want a wet bar. What's wrong with me having a wet bar in my house?
The woman needs a wet bar. Is that so much to ask for her and Zona? What was it?
I'm the one who made the payments on that house anyway. The family didn't. They didn't.
At this point in the episode, I stood up from my couch and I was just like, yeah! Woohoo! Yeah, thank you! And then when Janelle gets on a Zoom call with Christine and Maddie and said, I retain a lawyer, I would just, again, like,
I actually hired a lawyer.
Janelle's ready to go. She wants to sell and divide, but Kody won't budge.
We own in total about 14 acres out at Coyote Pass. The way it's titled, if we were to sell it right now, Meri would get compensated for like 1.5 acres of the whole 14.
She goes on to tell us that everything is up to Kody, and he's the one who's on all the titles, and he is the only one who can make changes to ownership. He has to decide to divide things fairly, and he's being wishy-washy, but he acts shocked when production questions him about this.
No. She thinks about screwing me over all the time.
Kody, your lines might sound more believable if you hadn't fumbled the bag in the middle of the line. And then he tells us what his definition of screwing someone over is.
If Janelle could come over after me over alimony and child support or anything, she'd do it. Oh yeah, she's got nothing but, oh God, how could I?
Ida buddy got totally f***ed. They actually forced him to take care of the child that he brought into this world. Now that's evil. That's evil. That's evil. Can you imagine if every mom out there went after every deadbeat dad? It's just evil having to take care of the multiple children you banged into existence. I shudder at the thought. Projection. He's projecting. He's actively Meri over, and his perception is so warped, he views women going after child support as evil, and Janelle wanting her fair share of Coyote Pass as villainous, when it's him that has all the power. Janelle couldn't screw Kody over even if she wanted to, but he's trying to distract us from seeing that he has all the power, and trying to distract us from seeing that he has historically used that power to hoard the family's wealth for him and Robin.
I'm sorry, ladies, you left me here holding the bag.
You wouldn't stick around and retire to the pasture so that I could keep spending your TLC paycheck. And now I'm going to try to take that money the best way I know how, through lying and manipulation.
I just don't know what to do with it, and neither does Robin.
God, his voice went up like 7 octaves on that lie. This is how dumb Kody and Robin think the audience is. They think we're gonna buy. Huh? What's land? What's titles? How do numbers and words work? I just have these claws that just know how to take money. That's all I know how to do. I'm so stupid. Lee lee la la po po beep beep. That's how I feel about that. It's not rocket science. Either Kody has to sell the land and then divide the money he receives 4 equal ways, or he has to, right now, adjust the titles so that Meri and Janelle's name are all over everything just as much as Kody and Robin's name, which he's pretending he doesn't know how to do.
I just don't know what to do with it.
One way you can tell what a huge, gigantic lie this is coming out of Kody's mouth is that he himself admits in this episode he won't communicate with Meri or Janelle on this. And since he's basically told us Robin's too stupid to figure it out, if he really wanted to move forward like he claims he does, he would let Meri and Janelle help him.
I have offered multiple times to help out, but every time I offer, hey, let me help out, nothing.
No way in hell Kody would let Meri or Janelle near handling Coyote Pass. That's something only a huge mega alpha male could handle.
I meet my real estate agent out here on Coyote Pass.
So Kody puts on his sunglasses headband and he heads out to shoot this scene with a realtor he's found online. Unfortunately for the realtor, Robin called in sick this episode. She's reorganizing her Charles Dickens Village collection, or buying more tiny bears to fill up their new McMansion. You know, as a side note, for 2 people who just bought a really expensive house, they don't seem that invested in their creative work. Like, Robin doesn't even show up half the time. What are they gonna do when the show's over? Literally pull up to the B&B with ski masks on so they can rob Meri all over again? Well, anyways, Robin's out. Real estate dude is in. Production asked him to describe Kody.
Kind of walking like this, coming in the doors, hair was all frizzy, and
That's not frizz, my dude. It's the illusion of hair. Now, real estate bro Justin probably thinks he's about to shoot a simple scene about him being hired to sell Coyote Pass. Instead, this poor guy is in for the how my ex-wives ruined my life walkthrough from hell.
We had a big family, and we went through a big divorce. So I've got 4 partners in it. 2 of them are exes, but it's not the most civil of relationships anymore.
It all started one day at a gas station. I was waiting in the car, fantasizing that a diesel jeans model would walk up. Instead, my wife Christine opens the door. You won't believe what she had in her hands. Nachos. Nachos. She had nachos in her hand, and she was eating them. Nachos. And then Meri told me she wanted a wet bar. A wet bar! I said, Meri, wet bars are for women who have more than 1 child.
Having gone public, we talk to the public, and then it comes back to me, and I was like, I'm not talking to her ever again.
This is a TV show that is public. Do you know that? That you're on a TV show right now? Okay, good. There's this thing called confessionals. Let me finish explaining. I am forced to watch clips of my ex-wives talking about me, and that makes me mad, which then makes me want to steal more of their money, and then the audience is like, boo, boo.
This was originally supposed to be a really special place for an entire big family. That dream has died, sadly. I think everybody just wants to cut and run.
How many total acres did you say the property was? They all cut and ran. Left me and Robin in the dust. Basically destitute. Me and Robin. We have almost all of the money TLC has paid us, and our names are on the majority of the property, and we've bought 2 McMansions, and I wrote off my own children so I could raise hers instead. Are you getting all this? Okay, good.
This place is a heartbreak place for me. It's just heartbreak.
You only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to them, your own children, Janelle, and I go back to Robert Black. Wait, what? When did you get a guitar? Me and Robin are the true victims.
We basically bought it all together. I paid for one of the lots solely myself.
What the does that mean? Meri and Janelle actually have outside successful jobs. They're horrible MLMs that we don't like to talk about, but whatever. They make their own money for themselves. What the has Kody had other than the show for the last 14 years? I mean, are you telling me Cameo paid for an entire lot? Is that what you're telling me, Kody?
Robin and I are now basically monogamous. Don't let that out yet. It's probably a spoiler.
Him and Robin being monogamous is a spoiler.
But Flagstaff was the beginning of the end for the family.
Wanna know something hilarious? Robin and I always blame Christine and Janelle for the downfall of the family. Actually, it was kind of our fault, because we were the ones who insisted on moving to Flagstaff, so Robin could be near her son who got into college here. It's a funny. We like to laugh about it. Are you jotting this down? Prospective buyers might have questions about this.
30 years, I think I was a polygamist. Monogamy, and it's a weird world.
What is he doing? This poor man is going to need a long shower and possibly 4 to 6 hours of therapy to unpack all of the Kody is loading onto him. First of all, if I'm a real estate agent and I come out to look at your property and it's like, oh yeah, I co-own this actually with like 14 other people and we all hate each other, can't even be in the same room together. I'm like, excuse me, I have to go. That has gotta be nightmare territory for real estate agents, right? I mean, chime in here, people who do real estate. Would you take on a client like this? Second of all, this poor dude has been through enough, but Kody's like, let me tell you a little ditty about a pond filled with prairie dog and a middle-aged man in some disturbingly translucent tidy whities.
I gotta tell you a story. It's about the third time in my life I ever went skinny dipping, and it was with my family.
Real estate dude's like, I'm sorry, what?
I'm over at the edge of the pond just screaming.
Kody's blurred out peen in Prairie Pond was disturbing, but it wasn't the most shocking thing from this episode. During the real estate tour from hell, Kody reveals he's wasted even more of the family's money than we know about and turned Coyote Pass into a junkyard.
The other equipment is just businesses that I just had to mothball that were unsuccessful.
Quite the reveal. To find out, too busy to call any of his 13 kids, too busy to call Meri or Janelle back about the land, not too busy to start so many unfinished or failed businesses that they've created a pile of crap on Coyote Pass. Well, guess they could add Maddie's podcast to that pile. Speaking of crap, here's Robin in confessional, pretending she's been a part of this family for 30 years.
It irritates me to no end that just the last couple of years changed the last, 30 years.
For me, the most annoying version of lying Robin is when she's trying to metaphorically Photoshop herself into the big family's origins, which, Robin, you have no idea what it was like back in those early days. Like, you married Kody 14 years ago. As much as you'd like to pretend you're an expert on this family and on polygamy, I'll tell you what Robin's an expert on. Plural families where half the family doesn't want a new wife coming in that accept a new wife coming in. That is what Robin is an expert on and what she should be talking about, not what was going down 30 years ago.
When we moved to Vegas, we developed sort of this culture there in the cul-de-sac, and it was really great. When we moved to Flagstaff, it just kind of disintegrated.
This is such a failure on production's part. They have Robin and Kody admitting the family fell apart because of the move to Flagstaff. And they have never asked them to clarify whether it's true that the family moved there because that's where Robin's son Dayton got into college. They haven't even asked him, at least not recently, to make up a lie about why the family was forced to move to Flagstaff.
I watched it happen and I was like, stop.
It's like how my wife and I have been trying to eat healthy, but a couple days ago, she was like, let's get pizza. And I was like, no, we can't. We're trying to eat healthy. And then I immediately pulled my phone out and ordered it myself. Robin puts so much effort into telling us how much effort she's put in to saving the family. Nobody buys it. Kody said he couldn't go to Isabel's surgery because he had to stay with Robin and her kids. You didn't put any effort in back then. Meri and Jen end up talking about Meri's dating life on the porch, and they cut to Kody.
Well, Meri wants an alpha male. She also wants to be in charge.
First of all, I didn't hear Meri say she wanted an alpha male. It's certainly not what she sought out in her first marriage. Kody's like the farthest thing from an alpha. Robin runs that household. And I'm sorry, constantly drooling over a woman you're obsessed with? That is just not alpha male behavior. And if anyone knows alpha male behavior, it's a lesbian. We all go through a phase where we think we want to be the alpha male in the room. You should have seen me 2 months after I came out of the closet. I was like, ma'am, I noticed you're pregnant. Can I help you with anything? Okay, no? All right, great. If we could just clean this line up a little bit, if we could just get the line cleaned up, I think it would be better off for everybody in the grocery store. Thank God I got that out of my system. But Kody doesn't have an ounce of alpha in him. That's why all the wives are constantly talking about how he never got anything done. You cannot be an alpha and also devote 9 hours a day to continuing on the illusion that you have hair growing out of the top of your head. Kody's got some more unsolicited advice for the person he said that he would never talk bad about ever again.
She needs to ditch all those mean girlfriends. If she wants to find a man, she's gonna have to ditch those bitches.
Can you feel the love coming from Kody? I'm sorry, it's hilarious that he has trapped himself because he told the audience he would never say another bad thing about Meri again. So now he's just targeting her friends. Meri steals the episode, maybe even the whole season, with her response.
Jen has been the person who's been more loyal to me than anybody else has. I'm gonna keep that person who's gonna be loyal. I'm sure that Kody understands that.
We know he does, girl. We know he does. Because all he did for an entire 2 seasons was tell us how loyal Robin was to him.
The one thing that Robin brought to this family was loyalty.
Robin's just loyal, and Christine just wasn't.
My loyal wife and her children.
And so my loyalty is to Robin.
He harped and harped. He used it as an excuse for why he wouldn't bang Christine. And he used it as the reason for why Robin got all of his time. And it's just... This is my favorite line of the whole season. One thing I found very interesting was the cast attempting to relitigate the failure of Robin's disaster business, My Sister Wife's Closet.
I started my own business.
Oh my God. Look at Robin's face when they tell her she's gonna have to talk about My Sister Wife's Closet. It's classic Robin. She's miserable.
The business was My Sister Wife's Closet, and I was trying to kind of include everybody in it.
Well, that's a sweet way to say I forced them through Kody by telling him if he didn't get them to work for me, that I was not going to have another baby. Isn't Robin just gifted that way?
I thought this would be a great way to kind of connect and build relationships.
But you were forcing them to do it. It wasn't about connecting. How are you supposed to connect with them over something they have zero desire or interest in? The answer is she's lying. She had to force them to do it. And from day one, Janelle didn't want to do it, Christine didn't want to do it, and Kody didn't want to do it either. Which Kody has hilariously been forced by Robin to issue an official apology for his part.
And I wasn't supportive enough. I'm embarrassed about it.
That dude's balls are still trapped in a tiny Charles Dickens cottage only Robin has the key to. They go to Janelle for her take, and she tells us Kody's greedy ass tried to take money from her too.
The most successful business I started was something I do on my own.
This is Plexus, by the way. The MLM Janelle and Maddie are both a part of, or used to be a part of. The word on the internet streets is they are no longer hawking the pink stuff.
Once in a while, Kody would say like, well, we all are a family and we all got here together. We should all probably share that. And I'm like, you know what, dude, no.
Yeah, Janelle's made a lot of bad decisions, like allowing Kody to put him in Robin's names all over Coyote Pass, but at least she knew better than to let Kody literally steal her hard-earned money. That guy. It's like every week I am shocked to learn a new way Kody and Robin were either hoarding or attempting to hoard more and more of the family's wealth.
I mean, listen, we funded all these things. We did it together.
Wait. When did I miss that Kody ever sold Plexus? No, I didn't miss it. He's just lying.
Janelle left, and she took that with her, and she took the profits with her.
I cannot believe that Kody feels that he is owed Janelle's money from her job. Like, I knew he was greedy, but I didn't know he was this ballsy. Oh, Janelle, just go ahead and give Kody and Robin, your hard-earned. I can't even say it without laughing. Kody is starting to reek of desperation. Him and Robin have no way of making money other than the show. They really should not have any leverage over production or ever be allowed to refuse any question. Like, they need this show. Jen and Meri are on one this week. They have clapped back at all the things Kody's been saying, like calling Meri's friends mean girls and telling her to ditch the bitch.
I just don't want to cause a problem. I do.
In the days following the episode's release, Jen and Meri went on a little Kody tour, complete with merch and an original song.
Salty. Birches. Salty. Birches on it. Two best friends taking over. Changing the game. Okay, you're really great. Others think different. There's no debate. Just ask my ex. Well, he'll tell you. Jen's the bitch. Hey, Kody, you.
I think my favorite line is, "Hey Kody, you," with "Don't be rude, you little toot" as a close second. The start of the song sounds like they're announcing a podcast, but then they didn't announce a podcast. But they did start a Salty Birches Instagram account. If the MVP of the episode wasn't already Meri, it would be Jen.
How much do you love that we're just sitting on the front porch together?
Look at Meri's face. She's like, how much do I love it? I love it. I love it a lot. Almost as much as I love graphic tees and hoodies. Jen making fun of Robin is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to the show. And if you aren't sure what Jen's talking about here, this is a shout out to Robin's season 18 infamous speech to nobody. She said she wanted to sit on a porch with her sisterwives.
I wanted to sit on a porch.
That can be a squeaky wheel. You're gonna get your grease, baby. Speaking of grease, essentially is a lubricant. Let's speak about your dating life.
Jen has added so much levity to the show this season, and I think having her there as the voice of the audience and also somebody just giving us funny lines is something we need. Not just this episode, but every episode. Jen should be in every episode. And if they aren't already, TLC should be paying her. There's just one more thing to mention. Christine has largely been absent from the show this season. It's not her fault. She's there. It's just, I have refused to cover anything from the wedding. But I did enjoy this quick segment about her starting up her new business, which is an Airbnb she's running out in Moab. I was one of those fans who, when the news came out, I initially gave this business venture a little side eye. I've never been sure how successful Meri's B&B is, and I just wasn't sure how many fans or tourists there were gonna be in Moab, but I checked her listing on the Airbnb site, and she's like pretty booked through 2025. Like, if you are planning on staying there this year, I'd book it sooner rather than later, which is like, good for her.
I love being the boss. I love being the one to make the calls and being the one who's made it happen.
Even though Kody, for a long time now, has become the cemented villain of this show, he still really shocked me with just how much effort he's putting into swindling Meri and Janelle out of their money. And this is what we're catching on the show. I can't even imagine all the things he's done off camera to take their money and put it into him and Robin's pockets. And he's not stopping. He keeps doing shady things, like hiding his plans for Coyote Pass and saying things like Meri should only get 2 acres. But at least 2 out of his 3 ex-wives have retained lawyers. I mean, Janelle might not have a prayer there with Coyote Pass, but Christine is going after him for child support. Ew, what an evil, villainous making a deadbeat father pay for the child he brought into this world. Devil woman, devil woman. So we will see how this all goes down either in court or on the show. Either way, I'll be here to tell you about it. All right, that's everything for this video. It's about -8 degrees here in Chicago. It's colder here than it is in Siberia right now. Literally, I checked. So I am going to go have a hot cocoa, and I shall see you in my next video.